Jack it up.
Hey guys, CJ here, and today, in this episode of our Java game engine tutorials, I'm first going to fix a bug that causes a null pointer exception down here and causes the window to be stupid. So basically, what we're doing is we're starting... Oh dear lord. We're basically starting this thread, which calls render, which calls the drawPanes repaint method. The problem is we're doing all of that before we even tell the drawPane that it exists. So, see, we render the init afterwards. So, simply just switch those, and the error is gone, and the window works again. So, also in this video, we're going to work a little bit on the rendering. Now, first thing I want to do is I just want to go g.setColor. And I want to go color.white, and I'm just going to say g.fillRect 00 this.getWidth this.getHeight. So what that's going to do, it's just going to set the background to white. It'll fill from its 00 to max. And oh dear, no, go away. Actually, no, that's kind of cool. I'll leave that for now. If we put that back up there, you'll notice it it does go white. I did not know it would do that. But you're still getting an error down here. And before we do any more on the drawing engine, I'm going to create a new class. Yeah, I'll do class. And I'm just going to call it error. And I'm going to say in here, it's going to take a throwable. And in this throwable, with the throwable, we're going to first t.printStackTrace. Then we're going to let's just system.err.println. That error right here, this thing, prints it so it's red in the console, and that's nice. We're gonna say something like an error occurred. I can never spell occurred. And then we're just gonna call GameEngine dot, is it end? Which one does the frame call? So if we're in draw window, it'll call end. So end is the correct one to call. And before we even call init, I'm gonna say thread.setDefaultUncaughtExceptionHandler new uncaught exception handler E. Or actually, not E, what am I doing? There. And make sure we import that. Hover this, add unimplemented method, and just do DOS. And then we say new error E. Okay, so what that'll do is that'll say, even if there's not a try-catch, when an error happens, I want you to use this custom error handling. And also, every time we've used a try-catch, we should use new error E instead of print stack trace. So I'm going to try flipping these and see if the error handler catches it. And you'll see that it actually does. It says an error occurred. Unfortunately, I don't think that end is going to do it, so we're just going to have to force it to close on our own, and I will give it t.hashcode as an error code. So you'll see it says an error occurred and it did not open. Although we might want to put that there. So that's our error handler for now. That's just what we're going to use. Now I'm going to put that back so the thing actually runs. And now you'll notice in the drawPane, we tell the mods to render. So in our game mod core, when we render, we're going to take all the instances of objects we have and render those. Now right now we have no instances. What we have is a game object. And this game object can be turned, or we can create an instance of this game object in the actual game itself. And that is what we're going to do at some point in time. So after we register the object, I guess what I'm gonna say is just instance, what do I call it? Instance, or obj instance. So obj instance, obj square equals new obj instance. I'm gonna make sure to say inst, and then instance will require a game object as a parameter. And then when we do this, do we add it there? Let's actually go ahead and say add inst this. So when we call new, it's going to go ahead and be added. Now, the instance, or actually, game object, this guy doesn't have a draw method, so we're going to go public void render graphics 2D G, and it's going to take in an obj instance inst, and I have a feeling that's not right now. So where's our render? Oh, it's the other way around. Let's do that. And now we see the green arrow, which means it'll be called as long as everything else is going well. So in obj instance, oh, that's right. Also in obj instance, instead of these for loops, you're just gonna wanna do that, or you're gonna wanna say parent dot render. Almost forgot about that. That would have been pretty bad. And we're also gonna render tick. Or parent. Duh. I'm tired. So, before we'd loop through every one of them. So for every instance we have, we'd call every game object, which is not ideal. We only want to call it with our parents, no one else. Can't remember if there were any other mistakes from the last video that I told myself to correct. But for now, I'll correct them later. So in here I'm going to go g.setColor, and I'm going to go color.black just so it stands out, and g.fillRect. Now this is why we have the instance, because we can get the position from the instance. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go, so these set, so we have set pose and set size. I'm going to actually have them return an obj instance so that we can chain them. You'll see what I mean in a second. Return thus, this. So now what we can do is we can also say dot set pose, and we'll actually still get the thing from it. Let's set the position to 10, 10 dot set size 32, 32. No guarantees, but I'm hoping this will work. And we have an object there. Look at that fantabulasticism. And we're gonna say also, because we can, public void tick obj instance inst. I'm gonna say inst dot set pose inst. Come on, stop being a doofus. Inst dot get x and inst dot get y. Now this won't change the position, but if I go x plus 1, now every tick it's going to move over, and you can actually see we have our object moving. So that's great. We've got a moving object. The next thing we can do is add input. You can also see, now I don't think, oh, you know what, I was going to have a, you know what, let's do this now, let's do it now. So we're going to have another package, and we're going to call this math. In here, we're going to have velocity. I'm going to set this to private, so only we can access it. And we're going to have int x, int y, this dot x equals x, this dot y equals y, and these floats. Make sure that's there. This is going to return a new velocity xy. Okay, so yeah, we are gonna want those getters. We don't need setters now. Well, actually, we probably should. Yeah, just I'm gonna generate select all, and instead of void, I'm gonna do velocity again. So let's just do that. There we go. So this velocity class is just gonna tell we're gonna have it in an instance, so we can change the velocity of the instance without directly having to say like this. Velocity itself will do that. So actually on tick, before we tick the parent, we're going to want to go ahead and take that, and we're going to put that there. Now, ignore the errors for now. Just kidding. Replace inst with, or, yeah, you know what I mean. And we're going to have a private velocity v. Velocity. And, by default, this is going to equal velocity dot set to 0, 0, because we can't call new velocity. So then what we're just gonna say is we're gonna velocity dot get x. So we're just gonna add velocity dot get x and velocity dot get y, and we're gonna round after adding it so we can get a float. So we're going to float the values inside, but once they're in the outside, we're going to make them an int. Now this may look like a huge jumble. Basically, right in here, we create a float. So this allows even slower than we were previously going, because there's only, you can't have half of a pixel. But you can round. So instead of that, what I can just say is there public void in it? No, I don't believe so. So in this instance, we're also going to go back in object inst. We have private velocity. I'm going to have a public velocity get velocity return this dot velocity, and we're also going to have a public obj instance dot or set velocity v, and this dot velocity equals v return this. And so now what we can say is dot set velocity dot set 0.1f 1f. So this will move 0.1 pixels to the right when it moves 1 down, I believe. So it shouldn't move straight. Yeah, so fractions right now won't work. I'll try to figure out a way to fix that, but for now, we got a cool velocity method, which is great, I guess, actually. Demonstrated some new ideas. If you don't understand them, leave a comment below, and I will try to help you, of course. But, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. If you enjoy my content, go ahead and subscribe. And one other thing before I go, I've started a new channel. It is called CJ Programs. And if you wish to continue seeing the rest of this series, go ahead and check out that channel, because that is where I will be uploading them from now on. I'll leave a link in the description, and you can also find it in the channel section under my channel. Bye.